What if I told you there's a program in California that could completely erase an $8,000 medical bill, but 90% of people who qualify never even apply because they don't know it exists? And it's not just medical debt. Imagine this. You had a health scare last year. Nothing life-threatening, thank God, but you ended up in the ER. Insurance paid for some of it, but now you're staring at an $8,000 bill. You've been ignoring it because you have no idea how you'll ever pay it. Every time you see that envelope, your stomach drops. Meanwhile, the hospital has a forgiveness program sitting there, just waiting for someone to ask. But nobody tells you this. Here's what most people don't realize. California has specialized debt relief options that aren't advertised. They're buried in county programs, federal guidelines, and legal loopholes. The big companies don't tell you about them because there's no money in it for them. And which option you choose depends on what kind of debt you have. If you have medical debt, you might not know that hospitals are required to have financial assistance programs. For example, if you live in Los Angeles County and meet certain income requirements, the Los Angeles County Medical Debt Relief Program can wipe out your entire balance. That $8,000 ER bill could completely disappear if you just apply, but you have to know these programs exist and actually fill out the application. Payday loans, those predatory loans with 400% interest rates, they feel impossible to escape. But credit counseling agencies can negotiate them down, or you could settle them through a debt relief program for a fraction of what you owe. Remember, these lenders would rather get something than nothing, and most are willing to settle. Student loans. California doesn't have state-specific programs for these, but federal options do exist. Income-driven repayment plans can lower your monthly payments based on what you actually earn. Private student loans, those can sometimes be negotiated if you're in genuine financial hardship. It's not guaranteed, but it's worth trying. Small business debt. Your business failing doesn't mean that your life has to fail too. You can file Chapter 7 bankruptcy to liquidate and start fresh, or Chapter 11 to restructure and try to save the business. Or you could pursue debt settlement. There are always options. The bottom line, your debt situation is unique, and the solution should be too. Cookie cutter advice won't work. So comment below, what type of debt is crushing you right now? And here's the controversial question. Have you ever asked your hospital or creditor for help? Or did you just assume that they would say no? Because most people never even try.